Hello, I'm back. Okay, the last video I was not. I was talking about the subject of fighting, and I shared the scriptures about love your enemies, love the ones who persecute you, and when Jesus talked about an eye for an eye, for tooth, when God talked about it in the Old Testament, and when he basically he said, "Do not return evil with evil," and he came back not to contradict the old law, but to reinforce it and to like we say, reiterate on it. So I am here because my video got interrupted, and that was not cool. But I had something to do, and now I'm back. I'm gonna finish it off because I am gonna finish what I started. And speaking on the subject of fighting, I talked about I have been a victim. I have talked about the shootings in our schools that are taking place, and nobody's safe from that. And about being a victim, being attacked or as an early age, being physically abused, beat downs, and eventually doing the same thing to other people because that was the way I was educated. It's not always the parents' fault. It's not always it's really what we're around, our environment, how we are we going to be sharp-minded like Jesus Christ? Are we going to be leaders, or are we going to be followers? Are we going to be naive? And we're, as children, we're naive. It happens. It's not like I'm going to tell a child, well, you got to be a leader in the church in order to be able to take care of this problem. No, they're not leaders, but they can be taught. And I had the one of these days I'm going to be doing a preaching on children, what it means to me to have taught children, to have discipled children. And also what I also want to reiterate also on, I was supposed to do an evangelism video, instruction video. I am going to do that. I have so much on my plate lately. There's a lot on my mind, and I need to really, God really spoke to me in this matter, because we got to ask ourselves this, because I've been in fights. You've been in fights. Some of you, it just comes down to to avoiding fights. Like, I've had to avoid fights where it looks like I'm the sissy. Like, I'm a clown. Like, I can't fight for nothing to save my life. But God knows my testimony. Yeah, I've been in fights, all out fights. I'm not kidding around. It's been life-threatening. And one of the things that Jesus taught when the Roman soldiers beat him down, he looked at them and he just kept his head down because he would not attack them. It's like I said in the other video. He could have destroyed him. He could have the angels right down to heaven and just annihilate these people and take him straight to heaven where he belongs, where he was at the time before he came as a man. But he chose not to. And there's going to be a time, all of us, this has happened to me recently. I'm going to share some more testimonies on this video that I've had to avoid fighting, where I look like a punk, where I look like a sissy, where like I never lifted a hand in my entire life, and I've had to do it, and it's pretty. I'm a man. Men have pride. Any pastor will tell you this, or maybe they won't tell you this, that there have been times where they wanted to fight, but they had to do it and look like a punk. Like, I'll give you a bunch of different situations right now, but where you had to look like a punk. Yeah, you're going to look like a punk, or you're going to end up in jail or in prison or dead because you don't want to look like a punk. And I've had to do these things, and people will have talked about me maybe because I turned down a fight, or I went up to somebody and I was, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry. I had to, like recently, I'm going to give you guys some testimonies right now. The last time I got into a little scuffle, and I don't really want to say much about it. All I know is that I went there and I was not in the spirit. And I went there and I was there to teach somebody a lesson. And I went to start a fight. And the result was my fault. I went there to start a fight because somebody had been doing something for a really long time to me, or just some people I knew. And I was just really tired of it. I got really tired, and I was not in the spirit that day. The devil took over. Because we can blame, people tend to blame Satan all the time. It's not always him, it's us. It's our very souls, our very essence that that causes us our own pride, our own refusal to back down from any situation. That because not everybody's, with all due respect, not everybody was born to be a fighter. Not everybody was born to retaliate. Some of them are actually afraid of fighting. Good for them. But I had the misfortune of having a life of violence earlier on, and that's the way I learned. That's the way I was taught. And yeah, sometimes it creeps up. So I went there to start a fight. I was cussing, I was cursing, and the guy swung at me. I went there to start a fight. So how do you start a fight? Well, you take a punch. Took a punch, and I just want to make it very clear. I'm not being prideful here. I'm just describing you the situation. I was just there to start a fight, and I let him hit me, and I swung at him. I did a roundhouse. I'm not proud of what I did, and I asked for forgiveness, and I apologized to the guy, whether he deserved it or not. He probably didn't deserve it, but that's not for me to say. You see what I'm talking about? Because we're not Jesus, but we can be like Jesus. We can do it. But I can't just sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, I turn away every fight. Yeah, I do. There's been times where I look like a punk. I've had to go to the opposite side of the street, turn away from somebody, or literally say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I look like a sissy, I look like a punk, like I don't know how to box or anything, or I don't know how to scrap, or whatever you want to call it. Because like I say, I'm not a UFC, I like UFC, yeah. Maybe a UFC wannabe, but the point I'm trying to make here is that our pride comes before the storm, before the fall, the Bible says. And knowing to walk away from a fight, because my last video I talked about the bullies, I talked about testimonies, about being a victim, and on this video, since I got cut off, so I want to talk about I want to pick at the very essence of this message that I'm trying to give you guys. That not all of us react the same way. Some of us actually walk away. Some of us are afraid. Some of us have to back down what does it matter if your pride gets hurt? What if you get hurt? What if the guy's a real killer? You don't even know that, or vice versa. So I know what it's like already to be looked at, and I've been in situations where I had some guy say something about me because he was a gang member and he didn't like me talking about it, so he wanted nobody to know. He basically, it's called pride. He wants me to, like, I never fought in my life, and I would honestly, I'm sharing this video with you. I wish I never fought in my life. I wish I could say that. I wish I could say I never hurt somebody, but I did, and I'm not proud of it. Maybe I did it at the time because I was my very health was threatened. I'm gonna get beat down, or because my life was living hell growing up. And the last time I got into a fight, I started the fight because somebody had done something really bad to me and some other group of people, and it was just building up for years. And I did it, and I'm not proud of what I did, and I wasn't in the spirit. And not everybody shares these things. That goes to church, that goes to ministry, that serves God, that actually teaches children, that actually just helps people, that's a soul winner, that's been a soul winner. Not everybody's going to share that with you. They're not going to admit it. They'll never admit it. But I share my heart here. I share God's heart, and I don't pull no punches here. Like I said in the last video, you're not going to find testimonies here. You're not going to find lies. You're not going to find fake stuff here. It's just pure 100% reality, and it stings sometimes, but I'm going to preach it not because I'm going by my own little doctrine here. I'm going by God's doctrine, but I'm being real here. Sometimes being real, yeah, you could offend somebody or just give a false teaching. I'm just sharing with you guys my experiences, what it's like to get into a fight, as opposed to now being an adult backing away from fights. And even people in my, I've had a situation when I was in church, this happened, and I looked like a punk. Okay, that guy thinks I'm afraid of him. Great, wonderful. I mean, I've been in so many different situations where I could have died. I don't. I'm not the kind of person that gets scared. But I'm not saying that with pride. I'm just sharing with you guys a little bit of my testimony. But one thing I've learned is just like Jesus did, when he knew that those guys were going to keep beating on him, that they insulted him, that they spit on him, that they humiliating him, and he didn't care. If we could all be like Jesus, the world would be a better place, right? Wouldn't it? So, but I'm just sharing you, I make mistakes. I might not have been in jail. I might have not killed somebody, but I could have, because I did a roundhouse. The guy flew back, and because somebody stopped me, because I had people crying. I had people I knew crying about it, afraid, because I was this demonically frustrated person that day, and I was not in the spirit. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not proud of what I did, but I want to share you guys, because I want you guys to know that there's no lies on here. I'm not gonna lie to you. And also I'm not gonna sugarcoat too much. I'm gonna be really sensitive to the spirit, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat to you guys. And I still train, and I also want to give a praise report before I finish this message. I got a praise report because a while back I got into this accident in the job, and I was sitting at home for weeks, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to walk right. I seriously, guys, those of you who watch this video, I was afraid that I was going to not be able to ever walk normal again. And there was times where I thought, I was like, oh my God, this is like what a person goes to rehab when they hurt themselves. But praise God, I'm strong again. I'm walking normal. I could run. I could jump. Whatever I could do. I can't do cartwheels. But thank God. I just want to tell you guys that, that God does miracles. I prayed and asked God to heal me, because I need to stay working. Like I said, I want all this stuff that's going on in my life, but I need to put some, a little bit of money into it. So, anyways, so, like I want to go back to the subjects I talked about. It's all pride, really. And sometimes it's because we don't have no other choice. Some of us, when we were raised, it's not like, I also want to talk just a little bit about gang members. Okay, gang members to me, some of them were forced into that way of life. Some of them because they had abusive parents. Some of them because it was a tradition. But some of them are just because they have good life, but they got no business on the street gang banging, but they still do it. And they are out there hurting people. They don't need to be out there. People like myself, they don't have both parents. Yeah, we could have been gang banging, not because it's an excuse to kill somebody or shoot somebody in a drive-by, but it just means that we had a difficult life, and we were not raised in a good household. We don't have money, and we don't have mommy and daddy buying us cars, and that's where fighting comes from. Pride. It comes from learning, from our surroundings, people around us. That's what we learned. Those are the values that our children are learning, and we got to get them out of that. But I also talked about, what are we going to do when our family members being attacked? What are we going to do? We're just going to let the person kill them? I mean, I'm sure God himself, it's not like he spoke to me, told me this, but like I said, God is at the wheel, not me. When I do these videos, I'm not, like I said, I want you guys to know this channel is 100% truth. Okay, and I don't sell gospel here. I don't sell lies, and I definitely don't teach lies. So I'm telling you straight from the heart, straight from God's mouth, that victims exist, and if it turns people into monsters. It causes a young child, a baby, to want to hang themselves, to want to shoot themselves in the head, to want to take their life because they can't take the abuse. My God, what's going on here? What have we become as people? What is going on in our schools? We need to get together. We need to, one day at a time, take care of this problem. But God helping us. God helping us. And the teachers that are at our schools, we need to get the values of our Lord Jesus Christ into the schools again, because we can avoid problems like all these shootings, these mass shootings, all these people dying. And maybe that person who shot them thought they deserved it. But we're talking about people that were probably humiliated, probably beat down, made fun of, to the point where it caused them to take their life into their own hands and take other lives with them. And being a victim and have no other choice but to have to raise a hand against somebody, because if you don't do it, you're gonna be in the hospital, dying, in a hospital bed, because somebody beat you down because you didn't defend yourself. We have to ask ourselves that question. What are we gonna do if something happened to your little brother or sister, your kid, your wife, your husband? We're humans. We make mistakes. We're not here to win a Golden Globe nomination for being a model citizen, but there's also a fine line where we walk away, we turn the other cheek. If I have to walk away from just one person looking down at me, and I'm just like, oh my God, take it easy, brother. God bless you. But I have to look like a punk, so be it. I'd rather let God do what he's doing in my life, the miracles he's doing in my life right now, than end up in jail and end up in hell, die. I'd rather ask yourself that question. Those of you that want to fight back, that want to do more than that, are you gonna be in your prison cell when you could have had that wife, you could have had those children, you could have had that opportunity, you could have had that job, you could have saved that family member, you could have saved this person. You're gonna be like a lot of the homeboys in jail that have to do that from inside of a jail cell? No, it doesn't have to be that way. We could stop it. Just like anybody that's thinking about picking up a gun and retaliating, going to a school and gunning down people. Think about it. You're taking your own life in your own hand. Nobody knows your pain more than you do. Or because of how easily you're influenced. Maybe something influenced you. Maybe a song. Maybe a person. Maybe a movie or whatnot. Think about it. Those people you can't recycle lives. You can't bring back a bunch of people, 15 people dead, 20, 30, 40 people, 50, 100. There's no way you can recycle, you can bring back a life. Once they're dead, they're dead. Think about what you're doing. If you're a victim, if somebody watches this video and you are a victim, think about what you're doing before you do it. I know it's not easy. I know I've been there. I've been a victim. I've been made fun of. I've been picked on, and I hit people. I fought back, but thank God I never did anything like that, because if this is what drives children to suicide, to take their own life, you think about what they could have had, what life they could have had if they would have just held on longer. Look at those of you that have families, those of you that have home. Keep a great eye on your kids, because you never know. Look at yourself. Look at the way you carry yourself in front of your children. Ask yourself, do you want to see your child on the 11 o'clock news because he killed a bunch of people? Or took his own life? These are babies. These monsters were babies. These monsters had families. They had mothers and fathers. They had siblings. It doesn't got to be that way, and it's a reality we all have to face. That in this day and age, whether remember, tomorrow is not promised to us. We don't have a lease on life. Who knows? Like I said, I always say it on my video. I could die tomorrow. I could die right now. But one thing's for sure: we got to live our lives for Jesus. We got to live it like it's our last moment on earth. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy being a believer. I know it's not easy being around a bunch of negative sinners. It ain't easy. It's not gonna get easy. It's not like it's gonna change anytime soon. But we gotta think about the future. We gotta think about averting more. And those of you that are picked on, that think that fighting and going into a gang or proving yourself that it's gonna cover up for what you're doing, that it's not right. You don't gotta be in that gang. You don't have to if you don't want to. Because before I signed up on this video, that's where I was headed to. I was gonna be in a gang. I was in San Bernardino. This is the late '80s. And because God saved me from this life, as I probably would have been talking to you about my testimony on being in prison, but thank God He came and intervened before that took place. And yeah, I was headed for gang life because I needed protection, and I was behaving just like the other thugs. But thank God He interrupted my miserable life. He came and he set me straight, and I thank God for my mother for saving me. She saved me when I could have, like I said, right now I would have been either in a prison cell for the rest of my life, or, testifying to you about being in prison, how bad it is in there. Okay, so, the subject of fighting, we have to, overall, God we have to be more Christ-like. That's all I can tell. I'm not here to give you answers. I'm still here to give you the truth. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to prophesy to you, but I'm not here to try to tell you I got all the answers. I'm just sharing God's heart here, and I'm sharing my testimony on the subject about fighting. And fighting doesn't make you tough. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you stronger than that other person. And my insecurities, yeah, I was an insecure kid. That's why I started to lift weights, to train, to get lean. And it's not like I look like a bodybuilder or anything, but I'm being honest with you. I'm being transparent. That's one thing you're gonna see in my videos. I don't hold nothing back. But there's also a time when to say, be honest, and to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit, and at the same time not offend anybody, but be transparent. But at the same time, don't offend people. And so if you're thinking about retaliating against that person, think about it. Think about tomorrow. Think about what you could have. Think about your future. If you're thinking about joining that gang, think about it. You're not going to have no future, though, if you're in a prison cell, right? Don't be on the outside looking in and wishing you would have never done it. Do it now. Start today. Walk away from that fight. Walk away from those feelings that you have. Same for me. I still deal with it every day. I have to. If I want what God's doing in my life, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm pretty much a dead man if I let my pride get the best of me and get into another boxing match with somebody. It's not like I'm always gonna win and get killed or something, or worse. Family members. So I know I'm going to go on here, but I just want to tell you guys, God bless you, and I hope you guys get what you needed to get out of this video, and share it. Share this video. Subscribe to this blog, because this blog is about the church house. It is about the truth, the real problems that Christians face today, the real problems that exist in the church house, the real problems that we can learn together. Our own mistakes, my mistakes, I've learned. That's why I share my mistakes on this channel too. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye. Oh, wait, before I sign off, I am so sorry. Evangelism video coming up soon. All right. I said I was gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. All right, you guys. God bless you. Bye.